Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk through and talk about the pros and cons of hourly rates versus pricing per job. Now, I've spoken about this quite a lot on the channel, and to me, so I'm basically going to talk about it as a one-man band, so I work by myself 90%, 99% of the time. And to me, it's a no-brainer. But I'm going to go into a little bit in each one and kind of help you make your mind up a little bit, maybe if you haven't started yet or if you've just started. Word of warning, so if you have just started and you're charging an hourly rate, I imagine it's very hard to then switch it. So customers who are used to paying you an hourly rate to then go on to paying you per job, which, as you'll kind of find out, maybe a little bit more in terms of money, they may not kind of want to do that. So you may end up losing a few customers, which might not be a bad thing, but in the short term, depending on your circumstances, it might be. So basically, hourly rates are what they say on the tin. You work for an hour, you say it's going to be however much, 20, 25, 35, whatever it is, and they'll pay you for however long you work. One sec, mouth's dry. I'm batch filming. I just spat all over as well. I'm batch filming some videos, so my mouth's dead dry. So for me, the biggest issue I have with hourly rates is, I hate the expression, but more blow and go. So I do a lot of gardens where I just cut the grass. I also do a lot of maintenance gardens where I do the borders and bushes, hedges, whatever. But a lot of my gardens are just grass cuts. Now, I don't know how people work it. Maybe tell us in the comments. So if you've got an hourly rate and that's how you price jobs, if you've got a £20 grass cut, how do you price that? I'm genuinely curious because I wouldn't know really. And that's my point. So how would you price a £20 a 20-minute grass cut if you're giving people hourly rates? So let's just say, for instance, you've got an hourly rate of say £30, which I haven't a clue what the averages are. I don't know what the going rate is really for a gardener in terms of hourly rates. I'm not sure. So say you had a 20-minute grass cut. Say your rate was £30 an hour. Do you then kind of work it out to how much 20 minutes would cost? Say it was a half-hour grass cut, just to make the maths a little bit easier. So are you just charging £15 for a half-hour grass cut? Is that how it works? I don't know. To me, that just makes no sense whatsoever. So my grass cuts start from £20, and I've got some lawns that only takes 10 minutes. And I think that's absolutely reasonable. I don't think you should be charging. You kind of be running a business and charging like £10 for a grass cut. If you're doing it properly and if you're serious about it. People do, and that's a whole other issue really. But if you're doing everything properly, you've got all your insurance, you're running your vehicle, whether it's a van or a car. Lots of people run bigger cars. You've got all the gear, all the maintenance costs, all your kind of upkeep of the tools. When you're kind of replacing them, it's not cheap. You can't be doing grass cuts for a tenner. So that's kind of one problem really. The other problem, which I kind of immediately think of, you're capping your earnings. This is the biggest reason why I don't do it. So for me, you're capping your earnings. You can only work so many hours in the day. Let's say it is, off the top of my head, 9 till 4. What's that, 7 hours? If you're working 9 to 4 every day, you're going to be pretty tired. Now, don't get us wrong, there's days where I work sort of 4, 5 o'clock. Odd occasions I'll work till 5, 6, very rare. You've got to get your pricing right to allow you, in my opinion, to work a decent day. Now, what do I mean by decent day? I mean like decent hours. Now, I like the flexibility of this job. I've got 2 young kids. They're both going to be at nursery soon. One already is. And I like to structure my day around that. So I don't like being out till 4, 5 o'clock. To be honest with you, I don't think my body could cope with that every day, and hats off to people who do. I know people do. So fair play. And obviously, if you're working for someone, that's probably going to be hours, isn't it? Really. But that's the beauty of working for yourself. You know, you can set your prices, you can set your jobs, you can set your days. It's, you know, that's why I do it, really. Losing my trail of thought a little bit here. So yeah, so you're capping your earnings. Let's say £20 an easy number to sort out. So let's say you are 9 till 3. Let's say 9 till 3. That's 6 hours. £20 an hour. But you've got your travel time in between, so you're not literally going to be working 9 till 3. You're surely going to want to have your dinner as well. So that's what I mean. You're massively capping your earnings, and then you'll get disheartened, disillusioned. You'll think, oh, well, this is not what it was cracked up to be, and you'll pack in. So that for me is the biggest reason why I don't do it, because I don't like to cap my earnings. I like to there's two kinds of people really, and it's not right or wrong. And this whole debate's not right or wrong either. You can charge hourly rates and it's your business. If you like that, that's fine. It's not wrong. But you can earn more money pricing per job. So there's people who like to know what they're going to be earning. They want that comfort. And there's other people like me, who kind of like the excitement of not knowing what you're going to be earning. As long as you're earning like enough, you want that kind of, you might have a day where you've earned 300 quid, you know, oh, brilliant. I'll, you know, work a bit longer. I'll stick a few more jobs in there, like 300 quid for the day, magic. Do you know what I mean? I like that kind of excitement, basically. Don't get us wrong. I know roughly what I'm going to be earning anyway, but you know, you do get some crazy days from time to time. But if you just like you've got no room for that if you're doing an hourly rate, sorry. So another reason why I don't like it is I don't like to be tied to a job, and this again is a huge reason. So if you've got a garden to do, let's say it's a maintenance package, and say you charge £30 for the hour, you might get finished after 45 minutes. It might be a visit where the grass hasn't grown as much or the weeds haven't grown as much. There could be countless things. The hedge might not necessarily need doing, and you might be finished in 45 minutes, and you'll get customers who are absolutely fine with you leaving after that time. But I find, or if it was just me, and occasionally I've done the odd job on this on hourly rates for various reasons. It might be more prevalent to do it if you don't know how long a job's going to take. If you're doing a weeding job, I know some people do weeding jobs on hourly rates, and you're just not quite sure. But what you're going to do, you're going to like twiddle your thumbs for 15-20 minutes just to like eke out the hour, when really it could have been packed up in your van and onto your next one. I would find that the most frustrating thing in the world. As I say, some customers will be all right with that. Other customers will want you there for the hour, and they'll be watching you. And I don't like to tie myself. I feel that would be too much. Now, this might sound a bit strange, so I hope you know what I mean. I would find that too restrictive, and it would be me working for the customer. They've got you. They've got you for that hour. Whereas pricing per job, I give that customer a service as opposed to working for them. I hope you know what I mean. Maybe I'm not explaining it very well, but that would be my kind of mindset, and that's why I don't like to take on these bigger jobs. This is just me again. This is just me. I don't like to take on these bigger jobs where you're in one place for the day. You may be charging a day rate, because I would feel like they've got you. You know, they've got you for that day, albeit you're working for yourself still. I find with hourly rates, it's up to you how slow or fast you want to go. If you're efficient, that's another thing. You shouldn't be punished for being efficient. So if you're a fast worker, if you don't like to take breaks, whatever, if you've got the right gear, the good gear to allow you to work fast, you should not be punished for being efficient. So let's take a job, you got the hourly rate person, £30 an hour, say, or you'll always roughly know how long a job's going to take. So say you've got the hourly rate fella at £30 an hour, or you might have priced the job at, say, let's say 35, or even if it's, say if it's 20 quid, you got that person staying at that garden for 1 hour at £30. You could have done a couple of little gardens for 20 quid, lawns, say 3 gardens in the same street for, takes you an hour, 20 quid a pop, 25 quid a pop. You know, you can weigh it up. And, you know, that's these are just obviously my preferences. I know people on here who do hourly rates, and if it's a good hourly rate, it's absolutely fine. One thing to probably consider as well, or rather not do, is let on to the customer how long you think it will take, because then they will have preconceived ideas of how much you should be earning, and it's not always, 9 times out of 10 it's probably not right, because they won't appreciate everything that you've got to pay for and everything that goes into running a business. They just see their garden, their job. They won't see everything else. So they will have a preconceived idea. Probably prices of 20 years ago, your £10 an hour gardener, which, you know, there's people still doing it for that amount. That's just life, though. There'll always be people who do that, you know, and some people would argue these YouTube channels actively encourage these gardeners to set up. And yeah, 100%. I've got videos on here. I've got a video saying something like how to start on a budget or whatever. People would do that anyway, regardless of my channel. You know, before I started, I watched YouTube to learn how to do it, and then I set up. So whether you've got a specific video actively encouraging gardeners to set up, or if you're just doing, I'm just doing my thing on here and posting videos on how to cut a hedge or whatever, me just pottering about in the garden, people will still learn from those videos anyway, so it makes no difference. People will start up businesses. They started up before YouTube, they'll start up after. This, I say this is an extension to my business, so it makes sense for me personally to tap into, I know obviously the people who watch my channel specifically maybe are more, that maybe they are the people who are wanting to start up or who have just started up. Naturally, I would tap into that group of people to get the views, you know, because I get paid, not massive, but I do get paid from sort of the adverts and stuff on here. So why wouldn't I do that? This is my business. This YouTube channel is my business as well as me gardening business. So it's natural to do videos to cater for them as well, if you see what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So I'd be daft not to. But you're always going to get people in every kind of trade, every kind of walk of life. You'll always get someone who's cheap than you. You've just got to make sure you're better than them, and they'll be cheap for a reason as well. Quite often, I see gardeners come and go, and you know they're here for a year. You see them sort of kicking about, and you might see the vans or whatever, and then they disappear. You know that you've got to price right. You know, and everyone's prices will be different as well, based on what you need to live off. You know, have you got debt? Have you got a partner who works? Have you got kids? Mortgage? You know, we're all different. I'll end it there because I'm rabbiting on. If you're new, subscribe, that'd be great, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.